Hello, 7th graders. Mr. Dairyman coming here with a video that I think a lot of you have heard about, maybe have seen, called Elephant Toothpaste. We're going to be getting into a lot about chemical reactions, seeing chemical reactions, discussing how they work, the parts of a chemical reaction, the parts of an equation. And elephant toothpaste is a pretty cool reaction where, we can take a look and see some cool evidence of what goes on. So we're going to do that here. Building up to it, let me walk you through some instruction that you otherwise would have gotten in my class today. I want to put that arrow out there right now because when you think about chemicals and chemistry, an arrow represents something a little different than what we've been used to an arrow representing. In forces, obviously, arrows gave us the size and the direction of which way a force would go. But in chemistry, the arrow is going to represent that a reaction or chemical change has taken place. So think of the arrow as a change, a chemical change or chemical reaction. I also want to introduce some more key terms here that you're going to see in the chapter, especially the notes, are the words reactants and products. If you take a look at those two words there, the reactants are always on the left side of the arrow. And think about it. The reactants are going to react. So they are the chemicals or the compounds that are, being exposed to each other, and they're going to react, and then they're going to produce. If you look at the word products, you kind of see the word, the root there, produce. So reactants create products. The products are what we get after the reaction. In today's chemical reaction, if I could get rid of the words reactants and products, keep those in mind. We're going to take the reactant of hydrogen peroxide. We've discussed hydrogen peroxide a lot this year. You've seen it on the counting atoms form. Hydrogen peroxide is a chemical compound. We're using this right here. It's 30% mixture, or excuse me, 30% strength hydrogen peroxide, and I have some here in a small beaker. So that's that liquid form hydrogen peroxide. And what we're going to do is basically use a chemical reaction to break apart the H2 and O2 into something totally different. Chemical reactions make something completely new. Key terminology there, completely new. So H2O becomes, I think you can recognize that if you look closely, the H2O2 becomes water. It's very close. And after this reaction, we're going to have water. And we're also going to have, additionally to that, another product, which is basically going to be oxygen gas. So I'm going to put that there. So as we summarize this all up, hydrogen peroxide will undergo a chemical change, and we will create pure water, and aside from that, oxygen gas. In the elephant toothpaste reaction, we're basically going to try to capture that oxygen, that gas, into kind of a helper here, and that helper is going to be dish soap. So the dish soap is going to contain that oxygen gas that we produce after the reaction. And catching all of that oxygen creates a ton of this so-called toothpaste. So you're going to basically see a lot of this quote-unquote elephant toothpaste after the reaction. And then there's going to be basically water left over. So hydrogen peroxide changes into, come on wind, help me out here wind, help me out wind, changes into water and oxygen. So getting ready for the reaction. Let's zoom out a little bit. We're going to do it the first time in a 2-liter bottle. Oh, there the wind got me. That's okay. We already covered that. Let's put in our hydrogen peroxide. Next thing we're going to do is add our soap bubbles. And we just want a little bit of that soap catching the oxygen that we're going to make. And for Easter, I have special neon food coloring with those Easter colors. So I'm feeling in an Easter mood. I'm feeling a little bit of the purple to kind of create that toothpaste. And I think I'm feeling a little bit of blue. I don't know. And here comes our reaction. We'll take note how we do, and hopefully we'll get a bit lucky here. Hydrogen peroxide reacting, breaking apart into water and oxygen. Welcome back, everybody. Getting ready to put the potassium iodide into the elephant toothpaste, and then we get our chemical reaction. Take a look at it. It's pretty cool. Oxygen is being produced along with water. If you look closely, you'll also see some vapors, and that is an indication of evaporation because of heat. Heat is being produced in this reaction as well. So enjoy it. It's pretty cool. The reaction goes on for a while. Again, the signs of reaction here are the oxygen being trapped and created, and the heat that's being produced in this cool chemical reaction. We will see you next week, everybody.